Evening, YouTube, recovery fam. How's everybody doing tonight? It's Nick's mom back. First, I want to start off by saying I can't thank you guys enough. Everybody in the recovery fam giving me a shout out, mentioning me in your videos, suggesting to people to follow me. Thank you. I don't know that I deserve it, but thank you. Anyway, what I was going to talk about tonight is you've been told that your loved one, be it your kid, your boyfriend, your husband, your wife, is an addict, or you found out, or whatever. However, what now? What do you do? First, you sort of got to get a hold of yourself and take a deep breath and calm down, because your first emotions are going to be running high and you're going to be freaking out, more than likely. For me, my son was an addict, or is an addict. My first emotions was, oh my God, how do I fix this? Oh my God, what did I do wrong? Did I not love him enough? Was there something in his childhood that was traumatizing that I didn't know about or that happened? Just all those guilty, what could I have done? What should I have done? What could I have done differently? And that's one of the first things you got to realize, that it is not about you. It's about them, and it's about the choices they made. Now, granted, there are going to be times where they've had traumatic things happen in people's lives that will cause them to start using. Other times it's just injuries. People start getting pain pills prescribed to them, and the next thing you know, it is running out of control and a train has been set in motion that they can't get back. But you're going to automatically probably assume it's something you did or you didn't do. So that's the first thing you have to realize, is you didn't do this. This is not something that was directly as a result of something you did, which is a hard one to deal with, especially if it's your son or your daughter. You've got so much guilt, and just it you don't understand, because society makes it that this is a shameful thing. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to let anybody else know, when that's the furthest thing that should be happening. If you've got somebody that's in your family that is an addict and that's going through this, there's nothing to be ashamed of. There is nothing that, you could have probably done any different. It would have just happened, or it has happened. So don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed. As a matter of fact, if you talk to people, you're going to feel better. It's just the way it is. And it's, an addict talking to somebody, during he's trying to get clean, helps them. Same thing with a parent, same thing with a loved one. They can't keep all the emotions and everything that's going on in their lives pent up inside and not let anybody else know what's going on, because you're just going to eat yourself up with stress and anxiety. And that's not any good for yourself, and it's not going to be any good for the person or your loved one that you're trying to help. So, it doesn't mean you got to go put an ad out in the newspaper or plant it on Facebook, but don't hide it. Don't hide it from your family members, and don't hide it from your close friends. And if they're going to judge you, then they are probably people that you really don't want to have in your life. If they can't love and accept for your good and for your bad, then you don't want them. They're not going to be there as a true friend anyway when you're down and out and you really need them. If they're going to judge and they're going to say things about your loved one, or even about you, questioning your ability to raise that child, or your love for your spouse, if it's your boyfriend or your husband. I mean, it can be so many different things, but don't internalize it. Don't think it's something you've done, and don't be ashamed, and don't be embarrassed to talk about it, because hiding it again and keeping it inside is not going to be any benefit to you whatsoever. It's going to eat you up. and you're going to feel so alone, and the stress is going to get to you. And then what good are you going to be to that loved one that you're trying to help and support and move towards getting into recovery? You can't push the person into recovery. We all know that. They've got to want to. So if you find out and that person is not ready to get help or get clean, you then need to worry about keeping yourself in a good place. You love your person, your whoever it is that's in the addiction, but you can't control it. And trying to control it and trying to force it is not going to do anything for you, and it's certainly not going to do anything from the addict, and he or she's going to be just pushed away, and they will shut down on you. So just if they don't want the help, you go get help. You go talk to somebody, be it a therapist, a counselor, friends. Go to Al-Anon meetings where you've got a support group or support system. Or get on YouTube. You're going to find other people that are going through the same thing. There are so many people. And believe it or not, once you start talking to people, then all of a sudden other people open up too. And they're like, oh, hey, you know what? I got a cousin, or I got a niece, or I got a nephew, or my son's also dealing with this. It's amazing. Once you start talking, people will start opening up, because then they're like, oh, wow, hey, she's probably not going to judge me because she's going through the same crap that I'm going through. And, and they'll start talking to you, and you'll be surprised at how many people around you are going through a very similar situation. It may not be opiates. It may be alcohol. It may be an eating disorder. It may be cocaine. It may be meth, whatever. There's so many things. It may be gambling. So many things out there. People have got hang-ups and, habits that everybody has them. Everybody has them. So don't think you don't. Whether it's you got to have a certain coffee in the morning, or you've got to, you got this certain infatuation with food, or you're sneaking Oreo cookies in the closet at night after everybody goes to bed. They all got shit in their closet. So trust me, don't worry about it. Don't worry about what people think about you. Hold your head up and, be proud. It's not anything to be ashamed of. Now, if your child or your loved one comes to you and tells you what's going on, and then they want help, then by all means, do everything in your power to get them the help that they need. Get it in rehab if you can afford it. It is very expensive. I know we sent Nick, and it was expensive. One of the ones he went to, which was the initial one, which was a joke, was paid by a majority of it through insurance, his health insurance. The other one that he went to that actually stuck and resonated with him, which was in Louisiana, no insurance. You had to come up with the money. Fortunately, they had a program where we came up with a certain amount of dollars. They had like a work program where Nick worked off some of the money, and then they let us make payments for, I think, a couple of months or something. I forget what it was. If they're good, they'll probably work with you. If they know that your loved one truly wants help and wants help in this addiction and want to help themselves, most people in most rehabs will reach their hand out and help you. You just have to keep calling. If you get 10 no's, keep going. You're going to get a yes. You're going to get somebody that's going to try to help you. So don't give up, because you've got to fight the fight. If that person is willing to get clean, you got to be behind them and in their corner, supporting them every way you can to get to their sobriety and to get to their recovery. So anyway, that's about it for tonight, guys. I am going to clean this mess of a closet behind me. Yeah, I'm embarrassed to even say. And I just got back from working out, Burn Boot Camp, all the way. It's awesome. If you're looking out for a place to work out at, they've started over here on the East Coast and are moving over. And let me tell you something, they will kick your butt and you will sweat. So anyway, have a good night. Again, thanks, guys, for all the shout outs. Leave comments, suggestions, and I'm going to go clean this closet and go spend time with Blake and his girlfriend and Blue, since Nick is out visiting his friends tonight and I think on another date. So, anyway, I met Melissa last night, guys. She's an awesome girl. Like her a lot. So, it's good news for Nick. He seems to be moving in a good direction, and I'm proud of him. So, anyway, love you guys. Have a good night. Recovery fam all the way.